What's up, motherfuckers? Today we are going to discuss the subject of sleep. Now, if you are like me, you are trying to improve yourself in every single area of your life, whether that be your work, entrepreneurship, your body, your focus, your memory. All of these things can be improved with good sleep. Now, if you're on a self-improvement journey like I am, you're gonna know that one of the key steps that you're gonna need to do is just fix your biology. Not upgrade it, no biohacking, simply fixing it. Fixing what you eat, fixing how much you move, fixing how much sunlight you get, how much water you drink, and most importantly, how much sleep you get. Andrew Huberman himself says the best nootropic is quality sleep. Your sleep influences so many different things about you. Your testosterone levels, your growth hormone levels, your muscle mass, your muscle recovery, your inflammation in your body, how likely you are going to be to get chronic illnesses later on into the future, your moods, your memory, your focus, just your general brain power. Everything is influenced by sleep. Sleep is so freaking important. And if you are anybody like the person that I used to be, you are staying up all night scrolling through reels, you're spending time gaming, you're going out with your friends, you're trying to really burn those last hours very unproductively, might I say, but you're doing that because you feel like cheated that you don't have enough time during the day. It's like revenge time, or so they say. So almost all animals sleep, right? There are a ton of different shark species that actually switch off one part of the brain and keep one part active, and then they switch. And so one part gets to rest and to sleep while the other one carries on. Now, human beings, we are not nocturnal animals. We are not cats. We are not bats. We don't have night vision. We can't see very well in the dark. We are not meant to be awake at night. We have something called a circadian rhythm. A circadian rhythm is a system within the human body that regulates when you fall asleep and when you wake up. And as it turns out, circadian rhythms are so freaking important for everything. You might know things like if you don't sleep properly, your immune system is just shat. It's just horrible. And you are more likely to get diseases. You might also know that a bad circadian rhythm can lead to cancer. A bad circadian rhythm can lead to obesity. It can lead to infertility. It can lead to so many nasty little things that I'm sure you guys don't want to get, right? And so you really have to think about it and be mature enough to prioritize good quality sleep. Now, a circadian rhythm can vary from person to person. We know that some people are early birds, some people are night owls. I myself am naturally a night owl. That means that I prefer to stay up at night. My brain starts working properly maybe around like 4 p.m. That's when my peak productivity starts coming out. That's when my creativity starts coming out. And really, nights and evenings are something that has been very difficult for me to give up and to reprogram. But scientists say that you can reprogram your circadian rhythm, even if you are a night owl, even if your ancestors were the ones who kept watch of the clan while the clan slept. You know, some people are like that. Some people are early risers, but you can reprogram it systematically by controlling when you wake up and when you go to sleep, for approximately 2 to 3 weeks. During the day, your brain is going through a myriad of metabolic processes, right? You're moving, you're thinking, you're imagining things, right? All of this has byproducts. They're metabolic waste, a plaque that accumulates in the brain. And when you sleep, your brain is literally being washed with spinal fluid, right? Literally being washed, and it washes this plaque. And now if you get too much of that plaque in your brain, that is what causes Alzheimer's, dementia, and many other types of dementia, right? Is just bad circadian rhythms. If you are like me and you want to better yourself, you go to the gym every single day, you eat quality, good food, you have a business, you have a vision, you have a goal that you're working towards, you have relationships you're trying to maintain, you are working on your emotional intelligence, you're trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be. You simply cannot do this on bad sleep. I've seen bad sleep break men down more than anything. This is particularly why in the military, they actually sleep deprive you to see what kind of person you are underneath, because a sleep deprived person it's all you have left, right? Sleep is so freaking important, man. Honestly, once you fix your sleep, you're gonna start feeling better, you're gonna start looking better, you're gonna start performing better, and your life will change for the better. Now, today I have 8 sleep hacks for you to get a better night's sleep. Now, a lot of people say that we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep as a man. That is true. Some people have a genetic component, which actually means they can be fully rested within 5 hours of sleep. And to be honest with you, if you really regulate your sleep just right, and you get a great intensity of sleep, so it's not about the quantity as much as it is about the quality. Throughout the night, your brain is going through a bunch of different cycles. So there's like light sleep, and then it hits like REM sleep, right? And then there's the dream state sleep. So it's going through these cycles, and you can go through 3 or 4 cycles every night. But if you can make those cycles more intense, if you can make those cycles better quality, if you can go through more cycles in a shorter period of time, you will actually be more rested with 6 hours of sleep than somebody who slept 9 hours but with, interruptions and light sleep. So really it's all about intensity. Now, I used to have a really, really bad problem with sleep. A big part of it was caffeine, right? So I am extremely caffeine sensitive. And so I used to drink a lot of coffee throughout the day just to help me concentrate, just to get through my ADHD. And then nighttime came around, and even though I wasn't fully stimulated, the coffee was still leaving my system. And there was this moment at around 2 a.m. that I finally was able to go to sleep. And so it's very, very important to limit your caffeine, but that's going to be one of the steps. And I used to stay up all night, and I used to just be on games. I used to order pizza. It would be like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm still awake, just doing stupid shit, whatever it is that I'm doing on my laptop, just wasting time, because I had this idea that I was working all day long and I had to come home and that was my time for me, and I just spent it just stupidly scrolling, stupidly gaming, bad habits. And honestly, making a conscious effort to fix my sleep, going to sleep earlier, waking up earlier, people talk about it, and there's a reason they talk about it, because it really is a game changer. Now, as funny as it is, humans didn't always sleep a full night, right? There is something called the Roman sleep cycle. The Romans, actually, they used to have 2 sleeps, right? They would first go to sleep at, say, like 9 p.m. They would sleep till around midnight or 1 a.m. They would wake up, so that's your short sleep. They would wake up, do some chores. This was called the night watch, right? They would wake up, do some things, maybe do some writing, spend some time on themselves, and then they'd go back to sleep and sleep until sunrise, which is extremely interesting. Now, this carried on through the Roman period, and this was later applied in Renaissance Europe when we started adopting a lot of Roman-esque and ancient wisdom into our daily lives. And so it's a very common occurrence that people have slept like this. So you aren't limited to just having one type of sleep, but I really, really urge you to take your life and your health and your productivity into your own hands and improve your sleep. So step number 1 to getting a better night's sleep and supercharging your productivity and your life, it's going to be to control the type of light. So you have many different colors of light. Obviously, white light breaks up into a spectrum of all the different visible colors that we see, and probably a lot of other ones that we don't see, like infrared, ultraviolet, all of that, right? As the sun is setting, the wavelength of visible light that is dispersed from the sun's rays is mostly red light. It also has infrared, which we don't see, which is also extremely beneficial to our bodies and stimulates melatonin, but there'll be videos all about that. So when your retina picks up red light, it tells it to calm down. It tells it to stop producing melatonin, which is our hormone for sleep, produced in the pineal gland or our third eye. And so you're calming down and you're going to be able to sleep a lot better. Now, in the morning when we wake up, the light wavelengths is actually blue. So the visible light is mostly blue. And so that, when it hits our retina, it tells us to wake up. It stimulates cortisol rise, which is a stress hormone to keep you awake. And so different colors of light have different effects on the body. Now, if you're there on your phone with this bright blue light, and you're stuffing it into your face, into your eyes right before you sleep, that's telling your brain to wake up. It's releasing cortisol. It's releasing other things that are making you awake, and it's your brain thinks it's morning. And then when you go to sleep, not only are your eyes going to be strung up and not able to relax, but you're also going to have a much more diminished level of melatonin in the body. So a great way to fix this is to not stare at your screen for 2 hours before you go to sleep. But let's be honest, none of us are going to be doing that. So a great runner-up is to get some blue blocker glasses. You see Dave Asprey wear these a lot in interviews. It's just orange. It just creates this red orange tint to everything you see. And put them on, go on your laptop, go on your phone. It doesn't matter. That blue light is no longer affecting you. Another great way is to just get all of your devices and apply a filter. There are loads of these apps that will apply a filter over all of your devices. I have used f.lux before, and it changes with where the sun is, it changes the actual color. So it gets a lot brighter red. And it's really great. It's honestly, trust me, your brain is going to thank you. Your sleep is going to thank you. Hugely important. Number 2 is sleeping in complete darkness. You can do this either by using a blackout blind, or as I like to do, using one of these sleep masks. These sleep masks, they're very inexpensive. They're super soft, very comfortable. And this one, as well as the other one, they have little dents for where the eyes go. And so this makes it very comfortable when you put it on. You can even open your eyes pretty much fully while you have one of them on. So comfortable. What this has allowed me to do is to sleep in complete darkness, no matter where I am, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm, trekking, camping, whatever I'm doing. I just put this on, out like a light. The great thing about this one as well is that when you wear a mask to sleep, you are able to train your brain to actually sleep once it's on. So now I put this on, very easy to go to sleep, because I've trained my mind that when this comes on, I'm expecting sleep. Another great caveat, a little bit of a pivot, is if you are doing entertainment while in bed, if you're laying in bed and you're on your laptop or you're, whatever, watching reels, not at night, during the day, if you're doing work, if you're entertaining yourself there, your brain will start to associate your bed as a place of entertainment, as a place of relaxation, rather than a place of sleep. So you want to avoid doing that at all costs. You want to really try to not train your brain to think of your bed as anything other than a place of sleep. Because now, when you go into bed at night and you're about to go to sleep, your brain's thinking, well, I could be doing this, I could be doing this, I could be doing this, and it's racing. So you want to avoid that at all costs, but total darkness is a must. So check out the link in the description. You can go on my website and actually buy one of our branded face masks. Highly recommend it, guys. Number 3 is going to be your food intake, right? Food and water. If you drink water right before sleep, if you drink too much, you're going to be getting up at night to pee. And you know how your sleep goes through these cycles, multiple cycles throughout every single night. If you get up and go pee, you are going to breaking one of those cycles. You are going to break, and you're not going to be able to go to sleep in the same way. You're going to disrupt that cycle. You're going to start again. So really you want to avoid that at all costs. And that involves not drinking too much water before bed. You want to have a little bit, like a small glass, a small cup, to make sure you're hydrated while you're sleeping. But really try to avoid drinking too much water and eating too much food. When you eat food, the act of digestion, the process of food being digested, is the most calorie intensive activity your body does, right? It eats so much calories, and you think it's counterproductive, but you get more calories than you use. But it's a very calorie expensive process. And so when you're filling your belly right before sleep, you go to sleep, you're now half-assing 2 things. You're not sleeping properly because all that energy that could be going towards recovery, rejuvenation, killing inflammation, washing the brain, all of that is not fully going into that. Part of it is going to digest your food. And it's not even digesting your food well, because you're not going to digest very well because you're not using all the energy that you could. And so you're messing up both processes, and you're going to wake up groggy and tired with bad sleep, and you will not have digested that food very well at all. So really avoid eating big meals. And another really big thing is, after a certain point, I think it's like 4 or 5 p.m., your pancreas, the thing that creates insulin, the hormone that controls your sugar, right, is a diabetic hormone, that turns off around the evening. So if you're eating carbohydrates, if you're eating a lot of sugary snacks right before bed, that is killing you. You're gonna get diabetes if you keep doing that. Like your blood sugar levels are jumping up and down, and you don't even have the insulin to deal with it, right? Normally you do, and even then it can be diabetic. But if you don't even have the insulin, you're just destroying your body. So really try to not eat before bed. Another really, really big caveat is around like 11, around 10:30, 11 p.m., your body releases a lot of human growth hormone, right? And you need to be in a fasted state for you to get the optimal amount, because it's tied to this hormone called ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. So if you're a little bit hungry, if you have a lot of ghrelin, you are going to get a huge spike in human growth hormone. And human growth hormone is sometimes called the fountain of youth. Bodybuilders literally pay a ton of money to buy it and inject it into themselves because they want better skin, they want better nails, they want better hair, they want faster muscle recovery, stronger bones, bigger muscles. They literally pay money, and you can actually hack your own biology just by doing this. So make sure you're not eating big meals, and make sure you're not eating 2 hours before bed. Number 4, temperature of your surroundings. This one is very, very important. People say, and scientists have done studies on this stuff now, if your room is cold, if your environment is cool or cold, the sleep quality goes up. Not only the sleep quality and the intensity, but also your ability to fall asleep faster. So if you can get a fan, turn it on, cool yourself down. If you have aircon, get that going. If you just have a window, I don't know where you are in the world, but really, you should be trying to keep your environment as cool as possible. If it's too hot, use a sheet. Don't use a blanket. Don't load up on the blankets. Make sure you stick in a foot out or something. Make sure your environment is cold, and that will lead to the most restful sleep and the best ease of going to sleep. Number 5 is going to be noise. So if you are somebody who is a light sleeper, a little bit of noise in your environment, whether you live with roommates or whether you have some loud things around in your neighborhood, can get you to wake up, or it can get you to go from a deep state of sleep and bump you up into a light state of sleep. And you want to be in that deep state because that's where the restfulness is, that's where the rejuvenation is. If you're constantly in this like small nap state, you're not going to be getting the most out of your sleep. So make sure you're controlling noise, and of course you don't have control over this. If you want to put on some white noise, this is jungle sounds, or it's sounds of a thunderstorm, put it on your phone. Or sometimes it's even static, it's like it can help drown out the noise around you, and it can actually be soothing for a lot of people, right? But me, I prefer using these bad boys. So I tried using ear muffs, but ear muffs don't work very well because I like to sleep on my side. I like to turn from side to side as I sleep. They kind of get uncomfortable, they come out. But these guys, if you can see them, tiny little earplugs, right? They go in, they're made of a very soft kind of rubbery material, very comfortable, very nice to put on. And hey, if things get a little bit noisy, just pop them in and bam, your sleep is so much better. So make sure you have remedies for nights when it can get a little bit loud. Make sure you have ways to mitigate the things that are stopping you from having the best possible sleep. Number 6, timing. Now, as I said, some people are early birds, some people are night owls, and a lot of people are in between. But you want to make sure that you are going to sleep before 11. You want to make sure you utilize that human growth hormone spike. So I recommend around 10:30, maybe 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is usually a good time. 9 is even better. Now, a bunch of you young guys are going to be thinking 9 p.m. But honestly, I used to be like you. I used to just stay up late. And now the older I've gotten, I think I'm like 27, 28 now. 27. Fuck. Now that I'm 27, I really prioritize my sleep. So going to sleep earlier is like you celebrate it, right? There's all those memes of you get into your 30s and you're like, woohoo, I get to go to sleep early. And it's so true. And so going to sleep earlier is going to give you much more restful sleep because of just the hormones that are released. Now, if you are awake at around midnight or around 1 a.m., your body is like, oh, this guy's staying awake, he must be hunting, he must be busy doing stuff, let's give him some cortisol. And cortisol is a stress hormone. It gives you energy, it makes you awake and alert, and it's good in short amounts, but then it can become chronic, and that's where chronic stress illnesses come from, but that's a whole other video. So you want to avoid this cortisol spike. You want to be asleep when this cortisol spike is set to begin, because if you are awake and the cortisol spikes, you're going to have a really hard time going to sleep, and you're going to have a very, very bad quality of sleep. So make sure that you are timing your sleep well, and make sure you're waking up at the same time every day, because if you are trying to wake up earlier, say 5, 6 a.m., just doing that is going to make you tired enough to go to sleep at the required time to have a restful sleep, right? So you want to make sure you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep. So if you want to wake up at 5 a.m., then you're going to need to go to sleep at 9 p.m., right? For that 8 hours. So be aware of that. Train yourself. And people have different chronotypes, but like I said, people can reprogram them. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to reprogram your chronotype and to be able to sleep at different times. So be aware of that. Number 7, supplementation. Some supplements do wonders for people, whether it's things to get you calm and relax, like valerian root or blue lotus flower, or whatever it might be, just to chill you out. Licorice, I know, is a great one as well. These are just herbal things. Whether it be something like magnesium, magnesium threonate has done wonders for people. I take magnesium all the time. It really lowers anxiety levels, but it also helps you sleep. Zinc helps you have a deeper sleep. Taking something like ZMA, right? Zinc and magnesium is a great option, or taking them separately. Even something like D3, which is a sunshine chemical, right? It's a sunshine supplement, can help you have deeper levels of sleep. And I'm sure there's a plethora of other supplements that people recommend. Sleep experts do say don't rely on them too much, because it's going to affect your body's natural ability to go to sleep, and you're becoming more dependent on them. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that. But you can take even things like melatonin, which I have by my bedside, and if I really am having a hard time going to sleep, I'll pop one of those, because sure, it's not ideal. It is lowering your own body's production of melatonin, but that doesn't matter, because I'd rather have a consistent sleep schedule and be able to sleep that night if I'm a little restless, than to worry too much about the long-term consequences. But really, you shouldn't be abusing melatonin. You shouldn't be taking it every night. Absolutely not. It's gonna mess up your circadian rhythms, but as a little helper to knock you out on those nights where you're restless, it is amazing. Now, be aware you might get sleep paralysis. This is very common with people, like some demon is choking you and you're trying to get out, you're like half asleep, half awake. Very, very common with melatonin, as well as waking up and feeling groggy. So be aware of that. Supplements in moderation, things like minerals like magnesium and zinc, things like that, very healthy. D3, but be very careful once you're going into that territory, not to become dependent on it as an aid, because at the end of the day, you want to be living as natural a life as possible. And finally, number 8 is going to be gadgets and technologies. Now, there's a ton of these, from masks that you go and wear to sleep that track your brain activity, that track your eye movement, right, to simply applications, right, that you put onto your phone, and you put your phone on the bedside stand or next to you, and they listen to your movements, and they're very accurate. I used to use one called Sleep Cycle. Sleep Cycle has 2 really amazing features. So number 1, it tracks your sleep. So it actually tells you at which points in the night you were in deep REM sleep, in which points in the night you were in a light sleep. Were there noises being made? Are you a snorer? Do you have sleep apnea? So many people have sleep apnea and they don't even know about it, right? And how would you if there's nobody listening to you while you sleep? So Sleep Cycle is great for tracking your sleep, and you see your progress going day by day, and you see the whole week. How good was your sleep this week? It just really, really gamifies your experience and makes you want to try harder. And it's just great to have all this tracking information as well. But also another great feature of Sleep Cycle is it has like a 30 to 45 minute window where you set your alarm. So not a specific time, but a window. And it will wake you up at some point within that window. The reason for this is because we're going through all these sleep cycles, name drop, throughout the night. Some of these sleep cycles are deep sleep, some of them are light sleep. If you wake up during a light sleep session, you're going to be rejuvenated. If you wake up during a deep sleep session, you're going to be groggy and tired. It's very simple. And so that time window is essentially the app monitoring which stage of sleep are you in, and when you're in your lightest stage of sleep, wakes you up. you feel so refreshed. It's honestly a game changer. This is how all alarms should work. They should work around your circadian rhythm. If you are somebody that wakes up super groggy and tired every morning, make sure that you check this out and look into it. It might just change your life. So those are my 8 hacks that guys can use to improve the quality of your sleep. And remember, the quality of your sleep is going to determine how good is your memory, how strong is your immune system that you can fight off diseases, how high is your testosterone levels. Your testosterone is so linked to your sleep, it's an absolute joke. So if you're somebody right now who wants to improve themselves, start with your sleep. It's free.